The Monte and Pharaoh Show would like to recognize the passing of What a Day Joe Lowry. He'll be remembered for his very bad broadcasting skills, his really shitty veneers, and obviously his terrible tanning salon or tanning spray. Rest in peace, Joe Lowry, never to return again.
Hey, Joe, what a loser.
You know what I love about being Big Ron Shaw, the Earl of Upsets, is that I can afford the best cars in the world. My $100,000+ 2024 Stingray Mustang, or my 2024 Dark Horse Mustang, the only one in Southwest Florida. Don't you wish, Joe, that you could own cars like this? You know, every time a bird flies over it and shits on it, I get a new car. Wait a minute. $100 bill, look at this. Look at that, get that shit off of that car. Let me tell you something, Joe. When you were born, your mother and father saw you. You know what they did? They slapped the doctor because you're such a fucking loser. See you later.
Hey, Joe, it's your girl, Missy. What a loser.
What a day, what a schmuck. Hey, Joe, what a loser.
All right, welcome to This Week in Pro Wrestling with your host, Mike Monte, and across in sunny Florida, the Pharaoh. Jimmy, how are you?
Good. What's going on, man?
It's another Thursday, bro. We are juicing up for a huge June. Got big news. Next week, the player goes solo, and he's with sex superstar. There you go. Dude, you look like you're working out. Not a bad little deal there, buddy.
Yes, sir. Lots of sun, staying in shape.
That's it, baby. So the players on Wednesday at 7 p.m. in a solo interview, and then on Thursday we open up at 8 p.m. Well, first of all, it starts hot in May, right? Because at 9 o'clock we've got bare knuckles champion, record knockout holder Ulysses Diaz on Long Island's #1 pro wrestling broadcast. And then next week we've got AWA legend Greg Gagne. And then the week after, bro, former women's champion. Who do you think we got, brother? Who's that going to be?
Well, let's see. Considering I'm a rocker and considering wrestling rocks, I'm really hoping you got Rockin' Robin.
Man, you're a genius. How did you know that? Unbelievable.
I don't know. I have no idea. A little Robin told me, a little bird.
Very good. And then we're still building up. We're doing our best. And, got to thank our sponsor, Sal Corrente, hooking us up. As always, Sal got us Ricky Steamboat. Sal got us the Fabulous Ones together, and probably the only interview with them together. How'd you like that Ricky Steamboat interview? You were in transition at that point. Did you ever get a chance to watch that? What'd you think?
I loved it, but I hated it that I wasn't there. But as always, great job, Mike. I mean, I love Ricky Steamboat. Who wouldn't?
But you were there. Listen, whether it's one or the other, we're always there. And you're gonna be making an appearance on Stu's Wrestling Podcast solo with the Pharaoh. Have you guys figured out a time for that, Jimmy?
Yeah, we're gonna be. Well, I know when we're gonna be shooting it. It's gonna be next week, early. I'm rising out of my coffin to hang with Stu for a little while over in Ireland, in the UK. But as to when he airs it, I'm not sure. But I know we're shooting it on Wednesday.
Oh, I forgot. Yeah, he tapes that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Before we get
going,
going,
nice guy.
He's a fantastic guy, and you're gonna kill it, dude. I'm looking forward to watching you shine as always.
Thank you.
Again, it's Jimmy alone in this interview. So we spoke about, before we get going here, we spoke about you got to sit down with your wife It's great calling
Yeah.
her your wife. The great Karen. Do we call her Karen Pharaoh now, Jimmy?
It's Karen Pharaoh McDaniel.
Okay, that's what I'll call her moving forward. Karen
There you
Pharaoh
go.
McDaniel. So you sat down and you watched the Iron Claw.
Yes, we did. We
You,
did.
you want to give your recap on it? I made the statement when we were on a couple of weeks ago that the Iron Claw has become one of my favorite movies now. So I veered off my original stance on it. What is your take on that, my friend?
Okay. I enjoyed it. I'm not going to say I didn't enjoy it. I felt that it was a decent film. I'm not going to, maybe I need to watch it a few more times like you're suggesting to me. I probably will at least watch it again one more time in the next, few weeks or whatever. I thought it was decent. I thought that it was amazing to me how the director could get some things so spot on and other things like way, way, way off. So I found that a little funny. The fellow that played Kevin, to me, absolutely makes and carries the movie. I
he is a star of it. Jimmy, I don't want to cut you off, but there's
Right.
some comments I think I have to say as we get going.
Yeah.
The great Maria Davis, the immortal. We're changing her name. She's no longer the first lady of wrestling. We're calling the immortal Maria Davis. She said, "Please tell Karen," she said, "hello."
Okay, will do.
Isban is asking, how is
Isban.
married life with Karen
Great.
Pharaoh McDaniel?
Great. Well, you know what? We're friends. It's not that just everything else that comes with the obvious. When you get married, obviously it's deeper than that. But we're friends. She's great to hang out with. It's awesome. I have no complaints. Thank you for asking this, Ben. Thank you.
Back to the Iron Claw. Give me your analysis.
Like I said, I thought it was decent. It's amazing how many spots were accurate and others were like, what? Kevin completely, guy who played Kevin completely carried the movie. I thought the father was excellent. Who played the announcer for the television episodes? Wow, he was fantastic. I was like, is this guy like from the day? He can't be. But he was that good. I thought he was that good. I enjoyed the in-ring action. I don't think it was too much. I still stand by what I had heard from you guys, and I felt it when I saw it. The whole glossing over Kerry's triumphant moment in Texas was not good. I did not like that at all. I thought that was pretty crappy.
Yeah, but we spoke about that, right? You couldn't show that match. You couldn't recreate that match.
They couldn't pull it off, but I wish they had. Look, there was another thing, and Karen made an interesting comment. She felt that the movie visually is very kind of like grayish, darkish and stuff. And I've seen other movies work that way better. For example, if you look back to the original Rocky, by the time you get to Rocky V, you realize just how dark, grim, and realistic Rocky, the first one, is, and the way it's filmed. The Wrestler has that kind of gray monotone, but it works. It works really well.
I think, Jimmy, if you watch it again, you and me are pretty much simpatico on a lot of stuff. I think if you watch it again, listen, again, I was very critical because I'm a huge Von Erich WCCW guy, and I was very critical of that movie. Now, I literally watched it 4 times and without taking a break.
Okay.
Not in a row, obviously, but there's moments that stick in my mind, man. Like when they go pick up Michael and playing band and they're all eating hamburgers in the front truck. There's that connection there. It's like, whoa.
Right.
When they're going to the Sportatorium and Don't Fear the Reaper's playing. Yeah, dude, you just got to watch it again and give me another analysis.
Yeah. The chemistry between the brothers was fantastic on screen. You did feel the bond between the brothers. That was a great job. When I saw Ric Flair, I knew I was watching something that could have been a lot better because, oh, my God, that is the worst Ric Flair I've ever seen. That was absolutely awful. But like I said, it was decent. I'll watch it again, and I'll see if it gets any better to me. There was certain scenes that moved me tremendously, of course, like when he's choking his father after, unfortunately, Kerry, did the gun thing. And also when Kerry's trying to get back into wrestling and he's dealing with the missing his foot, and Kevin shoves him he's like, well, if you want to be in this, shoves him to the floor. He's like, then get up, They did a really good job in certain aspects. They did. And that may grow on me, and it probably, like it did for you, obviously, on the second, possibly third, et cetera, watches.
Well, that's a good analysis, Jimmy, and I can't blame you for it, but I think if you watch it again, that will change. By the way, I think you might get a little jealous. I landed the Von Erich comic book. I found one, and I now have it in the man cave.
Really?
And it's graded, too.
Did that cost you a pretty penny?
Wasn't bad. Wasn't bad at all.
What is it? Listen, I'm only asking because I work in this business, you know. I mean, what was
Well,
it,
I was
actually
going to ask you what it's actually worth.
I don't know. I'll have to look into that.
Yeah, you got to get back to me on it. I mean, it's graded too. It's only a 6.5, but it's the only one I could find, and I jumped on it. I almost wanted to rip it open and like read it.
No, don't do that. What year did it come out? Do you at least remember the general idea?
I think it was like 89 or 88.
Okay.
It's the one where they supposedly fight aliens. I think there's only one comic they did with that. I don't know.
Right. I got to be honest, I wasn't even aware of the comic, so that's really cool that you got a copy. Yeah, I wish you had brought it in. Maybe you could show it next time.
I will bring it in next time. I'll show it to you, man. I mean, okay. I've been a little bit Von Erich crazy lately.
Right.
That movie's really got me. I got to tell you, dude, like, you know, and I'll announce to the family, we've been working hard trying to get Kevin Von Erich on the show.
Yep.
That's a big-time dream for both of us. And the dream, it could be a reality. That's Hogan-esque for me and you, I would think, yeah?
I understand. Well, I know it's very much Hogan-esque for you, but to me, it's close. I mean, he's in Barry Windham land at the very least, if you understand what I'm saying.
Absolutely.
And that's a huge compliment as far as how we feel about the old school guys. He's up there, way up there.
So, Jimmy, you know what? I love the show. We talk about how much we love the family. I love you. We love trying to give great interviews, which we will at 9 o'clock with Ulysses Diaz, who, by the way, I love that guy. He's a fucking beast. But I fail quite often. And when we were in the old studio, I was really fixated on getting a spirit box. I think it was actually let's give a couple of shout outs. Today was Bray Wyatt's would have been his 37th birthday.
Oh, wow. The great Bray Wyatt, way too soon. That one's still not really truly sunk in. I got to be honest, you know. I know it's more personal with us, but I still haven't accepted that Mantar's, Mike is gone.
No, that's a hard one. That still bothers me.
Look, it's one of those things, you know. I know you weren't a Brave fan, but I think pretty much I was. And I really felt a connection to him as far as how a fan can connect with a wrestler that you only see on a television set. You understand me?
Listen, I will tell you what, dude, whether you know this or not, and it's a badge of honor, but it's not a badge of honor. You're his last interview, bro. Live in-person interview you did in studio.
With Mike, Barry?
No, with Mike Mantar.
Oh, with Mike. Yeah, because I was thinking of Bray right now. Look, that was this. If that doesn't snap you back into reality, that anybody can go at any time, I was completely shocked. He was happy. He was optimistic guy. He was caring. He was super cool. Just a regular guy. And the few times we were with him, we had a blast because he just felt like somebody you'd hang out with back in high school.
Well,
he was a great guy. He loved his family so much, and we got to see his family when he brought them, which also shows how much he appreciated us and liked us. The fact that he was, drove, how many miles did he drive to
come to the studio?
To come over. Yeah. To come to Long Island was like hundreds of miles, and his father was an awesome guy, and his daughter was precious, and it's just robbery that he's gone. And if that doesn't jolt you into how you live your everyday life, I don't know what will. As I reach for a cigarette, goes to show what I've learned.
I think on one of his interviews, Jimmy, he said maybe it was one of the last ones with us. He said he loves wrestling. He lived
yeah.
I think I told the story before, and this is where life is short. Me and Mike had a falling out right after he came to the studio, right? He was mad I couldn't produce a show with him one week. And, I told him, shocking enough, hey, I work. Give me
Right.
give me an effing break. And we had an argument.
Right.
And Mike at times could be tough to deal with. Mike wanted stuff his way. And,
Yeah, sure.
shocker, I have an argument with someone. We know this happens on a regular basis. But I could remember, I was sitting in the back, and this is where, you know what, like, you talk about Karen. I want to give my wife a shout out, right? Me and my wife, she's my best friend, right? And she's my conscience, and she gets me on the straight and narrow. She couldn't get me on the straight and narrow with the last shit that just went on. She gave me a tongue lashing, but I stand by what we did, so I will not accept that. But in this particular case with Mike Mantar, we were having dinner in the backyard, and I told her I wasn't talking to him. And she's like, Mike's short. Mike, life is short.
Right.
You need to call him. So I called him, and we made up. We did one last show. He wrote me the next day. He said he hurt himself. And Mike Monte, usually, I'm like, all right, well, I'll get to you later. I'm working.
Right.
And I tried to call him that night. No answer. And then I think Sportskeeda called me.
Right.
To ask for a statement on his passing.
Yeah.
And guess what? I didn't get paid $250 for that either. All right, wrong. I guess I should not say that, right? But anyway.
Well, your best friend's gonna talk to you about restraining your emotions. You got a little Mr. Spock going on here, Mike.
I understand. I understand. Sometimes
Go ahead.
I cannot control my emotions, but
you're like Captain Kirk on steroids. Go ahead.
But so I have on more than one occasion failed the show, not due to lack of effort by me, okay, but
right.
I have failed. So last year at this exact time, Bray Wyatt had, or maybe not this time, but Bray Wyatt had just passed. I forget when his anniversary was. I think February or something, right? And Jimmy and I was fixated on getting something called a spirit box so we could speak to Bray Wyatt. And, Jimmy and I are both very religious, but Jimmy's very I don't want to say standoffish against psychics.
Can I translate that?
Sure.
I'm a little edgy about messing with the other side. Okay, I'm not so sure that's always the smartest thing to do. But I see why some people do it, though. I do.
I understand.
I see both sides.
I see
both sides. Go ahead.
So I was unsuccessful in getting the spirit box, but thanks to the president, Boston Phil, he hooked us up with psychic medium entertainer Gary McKinstry. By the way, www.GaryMcKinstry.com. And if you remember, Gary actually gave me the winning lottery numbers, and you were there. I hit. Remember that?
Yeah, I know. You did. Yeah.
I didn't get it straight. He didn't get it straight, but he got it. Like,
I'll tell you. I remember he was a great guest, but what was really spooky was how he nailed Mike Mantar and described our friendship and everything. He said, there's somebody trying to talk to you guys, and he described Mike to a T.
Yeah.
And that was really, really freaky. I do remember that interview. That was good stuff.
Man, I forgot about that, bro. Good memory.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, here's the good news, Jimmy. I failed you no more.
What?
I now have a spirit box, and we're going to try it.
You have a spirit box.
I do have a spirit box right here in studio.
All right. Okay. What's it look like? What is it? What does a spirit box look like?
Well, glad you asked. So here, I'm bringing the spirit box up. Spirit box, how are you? How are you, spirit box? Good to see you. Now, Jimmy.
Holy UPS Batman. Go ahead.
You mentioned that you don't like really talking to the other side, which I totally understand.
Yeah,
so I'm going to ask you, being that you have this trepidation, I'm going to ask you to please be quiet during this as I, Mike Monte, who isn't scared, is going to contact the Spirit Box and see. We're asking specifically for a deceased wrestler. Spirit Box, do you hear me? So, Jimmy, I'm going to ask you. I know this isn't your favorite thing, but I'm going to ask you to back off. Let me just handle this portion, if you don't mind. Okay?
Fine, go ahead. You're playing with fun. You're messing with things you shouldn't, but go ahead.
All right, so let me see how this is going to work, guys. I don't know if this is going to work. I'm asking you all to bear with me here. Abe, can we get a close-up on the Spirit Box first before I make my first contact? Thanks. You see the Spirit Box actually has a mouth. Yep, there it is. Let's do it like that. I like that better. All right, Spirit Box. Okay. Spirit Box. My name is Mike Monte from Long Island's #1 pro wrestling broadcast. I'm going to ask you, please, to find a deceased wrestler that Long Island's #1 pro wrestling broadcast could speak to that didn't have the great opportunity to speak to this wrestler while they were alive. Spirit Box, I'm asking you to please give us this opportunity. Spirit Box, are you there?
Brother. Brother.
Wait a minute. Get out of here.
Brother. Yes, brother.
Is that Jimmy Snuka?
Yes, brother.
Jimmy, how are you?
I'm not well, brother. I might have hit the wrong button on the elevator, brother.
There's buttons on the elevator? What does that mean?
There was this great light, brother. And the next thing I knew, brother, I was in a small room with a table, brother. And a phone and a laptop, brother. And I kept getting the same emails every day, brother. From some brother named What a Schmuck, brother. It was torture, brother. He promised he'd stop writing me, brother, but he kept writing the Superfly, brother. It was torture, brother. And then the phone ringing. There's a phone in my room, brother. Ringing every day, brother. And the man on the other end, brother, if it is a man, brother, promising he will stop calling me, brother. But the phone rings constantly, brother. It's torture. It's torture, Monte and the Pharaoh brothers. It's torture.
Jimmy Snuka, what an honor it is you're coming from the past and the afterlife to be on Long Island's #1 pro wrestling broadcast. There's so many questions. Not only I have, if my partner was here, which he is, but he's not allowed to speak. We have so many questions for you. You're such an icon. But the first question I have is, why did you have sex with What a Day's girlfriend?
Is that the motherfucker who keeps ringing my phone, brother?
Yes, Jimmy. Unfortunately, yes, it is.
Well, let me tell you, brother, my ring post still hurts from back in the day, brother. My turnbuckles are all misaligned, brother. All she does is mention how super I am, brother. And I can't get rid of her because she keeps bothering me here, brother. I thought I was in the Boston Garden when I got here, brother. But it turned out that I'm not. I think I hit the wrong elevator button, brother. I think I did. I can't get rid of him. I can't get rid of her, brother. I don't know what to do. I got to do something, brother. Help me. Help me, Spock. Help me, brother.
Help me, Spock. I didn't know you watched. I didn't know you watched Star Trek, Jimmy.
Brother.
Help me,
Spock. The TV down, brother. They have a TV down here, brother. But the problem is that they only play two things, brother. They play Wrath of Khan, Star Trek 2, brother, and they won't stop, brother, playing Raw recaps, brother. It's every 3 minutes, brother. It's on a loop, brother.
Jimmy,
Raw recaps.
I know
it's
Jimmy, I know you've been accused of some really bad things, but I don't think you're in hell, Jimmy. Do you know why, Mr. Snooker?
why, brother?
Because if you really were in hell, you'd have YouTube What a Day with Joe Lowry playing 24 hours a day, and then you would never be able to recover from that. So you might be in purgatory.
The phone rang in this enclosed room the other day, brother, and someone who sounded like a bot, brother, wanted to do a commercial for me from the other side. Why would I need a commercial from the other side, brother? Why?
Jimmy Snuka, I feel like you're being pulled back into hell right now. Can we ask one more question?
Yes, brother.
Was the coconut that Roddy Piper used on you real?
I have to go, brother. Captain Lou wants to take me for drinks, brother. I love you guys, brother.
Jimmy, don't go, Jimmy. Don't go, Jimmy.
Brother.
Oh, my God. We're losing him. We're losing him.
Brother.
Oh, my God. We're losing him.
Brother.
Pharaoh, you there?
What the hell was that?
Did you just hear all that? Wow, this spirit box really works.
You idiots have me on mute right now. I can't hear any. Oh, I can hear you now, but what did you just do? Did you just like do a King Saul? What are you doing over
Dude, the spirit of Jimmy Snuka came through.
All right. Did he say anything nice about us? Oh, you know what I wanted to know? Can you tell me? Did you please tell me you asked him if the coconut was real? Please.
I did.
What did he say?
He got pulled back. The angels or the devils were pulling him back to wherever he is. He didn't answer.
Wow, that's weird. How does he sound on the afterlife? Is he like high or is he sober? What's the story?
Well, he was a bit bothered because he was told that Joe Lowry kept contacting him to pay him $1,000 for a cameo.
$1,000? That's all he gets on the other side? What a cheap
I don't think
prick.
you could you can't use money on the other side, dude.
Yeah, what's he gonna do with it anyway?
Yeah. All right now.
Right. Well, let's hope that things change for him wherever he's at.
Well,
love the great Jimmy.
Listen, I just want to thank Jimmy Snuka for appearing. I think now Monte and Pharaoh have officially, done more. Like now we have the last interview with Jimmy. So many last interviews. Now we have the last interview with Jimmy Snuka. How wonderful is that?
I didn't think of it that way. Wow, boy, to boldly go, not to tie in Star Trek, but to boldly go.
I will tell you though, Jimmy Snuka, really, he learned how to speak much better since he's been passed away. He's much easier to understand, Jimmy.
Wow, you mean okay? So clarity, speech.
And at some
all right,
at some points it was weird too. He like broke out of that Fijian accent into like some like white dude.
I don't know how that could possibly happen.
I have no idea.
I don't know. That's hilarious, man. Oh my God. Okay. Well, now that we've gone to the other side, what's on this side, Mike?
What's on this side? The WWE announces host city for the 2-night SummerSlam in 2026. Talk about booking ahead, Jimmy. On Thursday morning, WWE PR announced that 2026 edition of SummerSlam will be SummerSlam going 2 nights, taking place August 1st and August 2nd. Both shows will take place at the U.S. Bank Stadium in Minneapolis, Minnesota, home of the NFL Minnesota Vikings. What are you thinking about that, Jimmy?
Oh, I think that you read that really well. Have you been practicing?
Well, I have, because since I've been misspelling all my emails, I've been going back to school, and now I'm learning how to read.
Oh, you mean when you're talking to a phone and it thinks that it starts typing all sorts of messed up stuff?
You can't. No, it's me. I can't write.
It's got to be you. It's got to be you. But what do I think of this? It's funny. Today I was talking to a very young fella. He's about 22 or 23, and he likes wrestling. But he said something interesting because he doesn't know all the stuff we do because we've been around watching it forever. But what are you doing?
Spirit box. Like, keep talking. I'm not trying to distract you. Okay, just
you
talk.
are distracting me. You're like a freaking kid.
Can I kiss the spirit box?
You want to play handball?
Can I kiss the spirit box?
Oh, don't do that. Oh my God. That's a
Hey, by the way,
very
before we get into that, why
Yeah.
is it called French kissing?
I don't know. Maybe the French just are the best at it. I don't know. I have no idea.
I got to
Maybe they
ask
were the
you, your
one-
first kiss, did you do French kiss or you just did lips?
What?
In your first kiss growing up, did you do French kiss or did you do lips?
My first kiss growing up, I used to give my grandmother a kiss
No,
on the cheek. What do you
okay, your first girlfriend kiss.
It wasn't a girlfriend. It was just a girl that I met, and yeah, of course we French kissed.
But how did you know how to do that, dude?
dude?
Like, where did you learn
What?
how to French kiss then? Didn't you, like, where'd you learn?
Seika.
Oh, really?
Oh, but I mean.
By the way, if you didn't know, you're
all right.
watching This Week in Pro Wrestling, but go ahead.
Yeah, oh yeah, this is all about wrestling, folks. Sit tight. What I remember is you remember in the old days when we had the cable and there was always the Playboy channel?
Yeah.
But I could never get that because my parents didn't subscribe to it. Of course not.
Why not?
Oi. Because you just don't do it, So here I am sitting with the cable box trying to get it like, the snow to unsnow enough to see. And of course I saw. I was like, oh, so this is what you do. Gotta love a cable American youth, man, especially in the early 80s. A lot of the times, a lot of us, that was the big difference. A lot of parents kind of like let the television raise their kids, and it's gotten even worse as the years have gone on. So there I am with the cable box. Oh, let me see. Whoa. So, yeah.
Let me ask you something. Was it a good kiss, though? The first one?
Wow, it's so long ago. Good God. You're going back over 40 years, you bunghole. What the hell are you doing?
I'll share with you. I remember my first kiss. The girl did not
Yeah.
enjoy it. And obviously, I wasn't good
Really?
at it. I was terrible at it.
You
You can watch all the porn you want. You don't really know what you're doing. Your tongue is coming out like a lizard.
Well, I am a lizard. I can't argue that fact. Yeah, I don't remember any complaining, but I never saw the girl again. So it's not like it was a rave review. I guess I have no idea.
You mean you got an Iron Claw review on your first kiss?
It was decent. You know what? It was well cast. The players were appropriate, and it was decent. It was a decent film. What are you making me answer, idiot? Go ahead.
Anyway, we were talking about SummerSlam.
Oh yeah, that's right. On This Week in Wrestling, right, Mike?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yeah, we got back-to-back nights. First of all, as I was talking to a younger kid today, and he said, I'm not sure how much wrestling has progressed over the years in my lifetime. And I thought about what he said, and I said, well, what about all the record-setting attendances? Two things matter most nowadays, whether people are coming to see the live product and whether people are buying the memorabilia, the T-shirts, et cetera, et cetera. And I said, it's never been better. You're getting huge, crazy crowds. I said, how about WrestleMania now becoming 2 nights, in your lifetime? You've seen that, right? And you could see the light bulb starting to go on in his head. He was like, yeah, you know what? There is a lot of positive things that happen. I said, don't worry about pro wrestling, kiddo. It's going to be around the rest of your life and your kids' lives, too.
By the way, Jimmy
III.
did mention WWE merchandise, and you can get your own WWE merchandise on the Monte and Pharaoh YouTube page. That's right. If you go to the end of our videos, we do have WWE merchandise on our store. One of the only channels that sell merchandise. In fact, we've got over 75 different stores that YouTube has approved for Monte and Pharaoh to sell merchandise. So by all means, you want to get discounts? Please order stuff on the Monte and the Pharaoh channel. And how does that help Monte and the Pharaoh? Well, guess what? Monte and the Pharaoh get anything from anything on a video if you do buy something, any kind of merchandise, WWE merchandise. You've got everything, video games, all that. Whatever. It's not just WWE stuff. It's Fifth Avenue clothes. It's Macy's. Anyway, Monte and the Pharaoh get 15% of everything sold on the channel. So, again, if anyone feels like they have to go shopping for your old lady or your old man, there you go. You know what I'm saying?
There you go. Awesome. I think it's great, Mike. Are you surprised that you're doing back-to-back nights at SummerSlam? I think this is pretty exciting news.
I think it is.
Minnesota's going to be hot those 2 nights. That's going to be excellent. Great stuff.
Okay. Sorry, man. Our guest at 9 o'clock was messaging me to send him the link for the show.
Gotcha.
AEW star Anthony Bowens is one of the wrestlers who are openly LGBTQ in the current pro wrestling landscape. He has discussed how coming out has helped him immensely as a wrestler. The AEW star, during his recent interaction on the Mark Hoke show, said that coming out was freeing as he didn't feel the constant strain of being outed. He added how he has connected better with wrestlers and friends after coming out. When I came out, I felt like all these walls came crashing down and I was able to connect with more people. Thoughts on Anthony Bowens and his freedom to share his sexuality?
Well, you know what? Maybe I'll take a surprising route here for you. I'm glad that he doesn't have that sort of pressure on himself. You got to be happy with who you are, no matter what you do, no matter what your lifestyle is. I'm talking about the individual themselves. You, me, everybody sitting at home. You need to be comfortable with who you are. And if this is helping him be more comfortable with who he is, and he feels better about his decisions in life, which are his, it all gets back to free will, right, Mike?
Yes, sir.
If this is what makes him happy, and he's able to perform, in the ring better and get along with people better because he doesn't feel he's hiding something. We can all speculate till the end of the day what made Chris Kanyon leave this earth. But Chris always kept it secret, and it was torture to him. We know that much. That much has been said over the years. So I'm actually glad for him. And if that's what makes him, feel good about himself and be able to perform better, which to me means also to be able to perform safer in the ring with his, opponents and stuff like that. If it's brought a positive thing to his world, who am I to judge?
By the way, last week I thought it was an incredible conversation with the Tiffany Stratton deal with Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill. And this is another example. It's hard for me to identify with Anthony Bowens because I'm not a homosexual male, okay?
Right.
And
fair.
Right?
That's fair.
But
that's fair.
It is a shame that people are shamed. Do you know what I'm saying? They can't be them.
Right.
All I ask, and I ask this of everybody, whether you're heterosexual, bisexual, homosexual, monosexual, whatever, keep it in the bedroom, right? PDAs are annoying no matter what you are, right? I'm not a big fan of the PDA, never have been. It's like, there's nothing worse if you're at a club, and I don't go clubbing, but say you go to a restaurant and a dude's making out with his girlfriend and they're French kids. It's like, bleh, stop. Save it for later.
Okay.
What are your thoughts on that, bro?
Well, look, I'm obviously a very emotional, sensitive guy, obviously, and I do prefer. And we didn't get to live in that time period, though, Mike. We didn't. But I do prefer when my father would tell me stories of what it was like being a kid and a young man in the 30s, the 40s, the 50s, before the 60s came and we took Pandora's box and kicked it right in the groin. I prefer that people do just keep their things to themselves, no matter what their speed is, especially the sensitive things that always ignite us nowadays and divide us. So I prefer the Joe DiMaggio approach. He obviously was a very private man. He wouldn't let the press ask him anything they felt like. If he felt that they were trying to dig for dirt, he wouldn't even talk to them. It's a different way, and none of us are used to it today. It doesn't really exist today. There are very few people and far between that conduct themselves like, let's say, a Derek Jeter. There's very, very few. Again, I'm not for everybody knowing everybody's business, and I agree with you on that. And I do believe it's much better off being kept private. It really is no one's business, at the end of the day. But if you want to tell people your business, it's our free will to either look at it, read about it, pay attention to it, or just do what we like to do and not bother with it at all. I prefer to just not bother with it at all. And good for you if that's your deal.
As always, I love your commentary. We've got literally 5 minutes because we've got to get ready for the main show where we've got the great MMA champion, Brad Knuckles champion, friggin' Ulysses Diaz in studio. So I made a list, Jimmy, like we did last week. Rip it apart, but you only got 5 to rip it apart or love it. Are you ready? 10 top entrance musics in pro wrestling history. Are you ready?
Yeah, can I at least adjust what I think should be on there during all of this?
Yes, you can, but we got to be tight about it, right?
All right, fire away. Go ahead.
Number 10, NWO, Hulk Hogan, Voodoo Child by Jimi Hendrix.
This wouldn't be in my top 10. I would replace it with the actual NWO theme song.
Good response. The Road Warriors, Iron Man by Black Sabbath, number 9.
It wouldn't be in my top 10. This is not necessarily an order I'm giving you. So I'm just going to give you what I thought should be on the list. Okay. I wouldn't be in my top 10. It's an all-time great Sabbath song, and I love Black Sabbath. They're in one of my 3 favorite bands. Let me get that in. But I put Roman Reigns' theme song in the top 10.
Good choice. Number 8, Undertaker, Ain't No Grave by Johnny Cash.
I would consider putting Undertaker's commonly known theme in, but even that doesn't make my top 10. I will throw out, let's say, the theme song of D-Generation X.
Very good. Man, you're killing my list. I'm actually going with your list. Number 7, Bryan Danielson, Ride the Valkyries.
He does not make my list. And again, this is in no particular order. I want the Glass Crashing, and I want Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Your list is beating mine for sure. Number 6, Randy Savage, Pomp and Circumstances.
Randy does not make my list. I'm going to break character here for a second. Randy does not make my list. However, I do want to smell what The Rock is cooking and hear that bass line and guitar stuff.
Nice. Number 5, CM Punk, Cult of Personality, Living Color.
That makes my list. That's absolutely amazing, and it fits Punk perfectly.
Number 4, Demolition, J.J. McGuire and Jimmy Hart.
That makes my list. Demolition is one of the greatest themes ever, and it fit them like a glove.
By the way, I was thinking about J.J. the other day, my friend.
Mm-hmm. J.J. was a wonderful person, one of my all-time favorites. One day we're going
to do a tribute show to him, I think, and to Mike Mantor. Number 3, Roddy Piper, Bonnie Lass of the Phoebe.
That does not make my list. Boy, I'm really going to break character here because I wrote these little tiny notes like a jackass. I want to hear Ultimate Warrior's theme song, please.
Wow, nice.
Yeah.
This one I know you're going with, though. Number 2, Edge, Metalingus by Alter Bridge.
That is an absolutely amazing one. I'll put that on my list. Sure, why not?
Number 1, Chris Jericho, Judas from Fozzy.
That is such a great song. You know what? I'll go with that. That can be in the top. But you know what? Can I also tie it with Break the Walls Down? Because that's great too.
Oh, absolutely, bro. Hard to argue with anything that you brought up on the list.
One quick shout out for the theme, Goldberg's theme. It's fantastic.
Dan Sebastiano says Danielson uses Flight of the Bumblebees, not Ride of the Valkyrie. But he uses Ride of the Valkyrie now.
He uses
that's Ride of the Valkyrie, right? That's not Bumblebees.
Right, and Flight of the Bumblebee is
thank you. That was WWE. He uses Ride of the Valkyries. Anyway, listen, I just beat Dan Sebastiano. He's very good, and I'm going to take some credit that I just defeated him.
And you know what you win?
What?
You win a belt and a free cat.
And some veneers. Yeah. I want to remind everybody we're coming back at 9 o'clock with the great Ulysses Diaz. I am pumped for this, Jimmy. This starts off the Monte the Pharaoh attack on the world of wrestling, and this is the kickoff show. Jimmy, send us out. Thank you guys for joining us. Please join us at 9 o'clock. You're not going to want to miss Ulysses Diaz.
And just remember, folks, these shows don't necessarily reflect Monte and the Pharaoh, but they certainly reflect the shtick you've been watching This Week in Wrestling. And until a couple of seconds from now, later.